What's up, gang? It's Hexy here. Hey, this is something new, right? I haven't done this in a long time, at least not from my end. So check it out. Got my bud McMurray on here, and he's going to spend a little time showing you some of the new arrivals here, which I know everybody's just dying to see this one particular one. So we're gonna show a couple items here. I'm gonna show you my one item I got, so you know where we're going. All right, and I'm gonna flip this thing over here to McMurray, and he's gonna talk to you about what he just got in the mail. So hang on a second here. Here's McMurray. What's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? We got a couple different things. We're gonna save kind of the star of the show for last, but same thing. This MMP coffee mug, which is huge. It's giant. I don't have small hands. This is a big coffee mug. That's pretty awesome. Also, it's stout, man. You hit somebody with that thing. But anyways, that'll be cool. I plan on using that for chit pull systems. First thing in the continuing saga of the SCS series is Yom Kippur. But anyways, that'll be cool. I'm pretty sure a bunch of you guys might be aware I played through Heights of Courage a few months back. That was really fun. It's one of those kind of unique games. It's not like, most of the other SCS games in World War II, so it's, got some special stuff to it. Yom Kippur, obviously, it's been out of print in boxes for a while. It was the 5th one in the series. So I'd imagine that means it came out in the mid-90s sometime. Yeah, right down here, 1995. So, whatever. Printed stuff. Special rules. We're going to set those aside real quick because we'll come back to those in a minute. Otherwise, we'll just spend, 20 minutes on those. All right, the map. Okay, the map looks like an older map, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Good things about the map is you've got everything on it, it looks like. So we got barrage tables. Okay, cool. So we got Israeli kind of stuff down here, and then Egyptian kind of stuff on the opposite side. So that's kind of cool that they spread it out like that, obviously intending for 2 players, one person to sit on one side on the other. So you've got notes for whatever, your stuff is. It's a bit of a pain because I play most things solo, but that's fine. Got a turn track, which is always nice, along with tracking air points. One of the things I really enjoy about, MMP games and SCS. And, a lot of games in particular. It's one of the things I enjoy about Hex and Counter games. Again, so this is an older style map, but it's really clear, really easy to read. I really like it. It's a full, 22 by 33 or something, Jeff?
Yeah, I think 22 by 34 is the regular poster size for these things.
Standard map size. And then down at the bottom, you've got, as always, the terrain effects chart. Or no, I'm sorry, not the terrain effects chart, but the terrain chart, what everything is. You can see you've got different, objectives and whatnot on there. You can see the various flags. This is cool. There's a lot of stuff here. That's pretty awesome. That's a good-looking map, man. I'm excited to mess with that. Let's set that aside real quick again.
Now, what standard rules did that one come with?
I folded that like a doofus. This came with 1.7, which I would assume is just what they were on when they when they reprinted this in the bags, because they're on 1.8 now. But it's got 1.7, so again, that's fine. That just kind of goes in. I'm gonna put that right behind the cover sheet in here, just kind of a backer for when I'm got everything out and I'm playing it. All right, so counters. This looks pretty awesome. Looks like you got obviously Israeli in its classic blue. You've got some American stuff down here. I would assume these are Egyptians, and you've got a couple different random factions in here as well. You can see we've got missiles, aircraft, out of supply, all kinds of stuff. You've got, oh God, no. Somebody call our favorite Greek, Helena Constantine. We've got DG markers.
Are you surprised?
No. But so we've got all that stuff. Little turn marker. That's pretty outstanding. I'm interested to know what. Okay, so there's Kuwait, Morocco. I guess the TAN or PLO. I don't know who. Oh, those are Soviet units. Okay, down here in the gray. Oh man, so you can see where the Soviets have some pretty stout tanks. with some kind of a, or I don't know what the heck that is. That's not tanks. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But anyways, the 1285. There's a lot of one of the cool things about playing in this period, and especially this theater, is there's a lot of exploit capable armor and mechanized infantry, and that makes things really fun depending on how the game treats exploitation and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying, Jeff?
Right.
That's always cool.
So all the yellow line things, those are exploit capable units in these games.
Yes, they should be. Yeah. And it's cool because you've got HQs in here that are exploit capable, which was one of the issues that I ran into with Rock of the Marne, is that you had a bunch of units that could move quickly, and then your HQs just were super slow. So you got stuck holding your fast units back because they couldn't stay in supply because they had to try to trace supply directly off of your units. But anyways, that's the back of the rule book for Across 5 Aprils. You guys will probably see us playing that here in a little while. Ignore that for now. Moving in here, though, to our rule book. It's one of the older style rule books that SCS used to have, which I kind of like, where it's got, like, you know, the turn sequence right at the start. That's awesome. It does have a table of contents, which is pretty slick. Can you guys see that? Yep. It's a little right down here off to the side. Looks like a pretty short one. Yep. Let's pop this bad boy open. So again, we cover air, bridges, Suez Canal. We've got Israeli special units, which are always interesting to see because the Israeli military was a real interesting kind of unique formation in terms of how they dealt with a lot of problems that were rather unique and tough. So it's always cool to see how game designers work that into things. Some more stuff in case we got Israeli tanker covering. That's cool. That was an element for an entirely different reason that was in Rock of the Marne, because they're just tanks broke down all the time. Here, tanks get shot up and then get repaired because we don't have any tanks. But so then with the Egyptians, so the Egyptians and apparently the U.S. units, I just read this because it was a 2-sentence bullet point. When they lose a step, they lose their exploit capable stuff. That's kind of cool. That's wild. Okay. But anyways, so there we go. So wow, holy moly. Actually, the only
so this game, okay, so you played Heights of Courage,
which is the northern end of this same conflict.
Okay, same time. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, so Heights of Courage is the northern theater between the Israelis and the Syrians, and then there were some Iraqis and everybody else in there. Pointing on the Golan Heights, this is the Israelis versus the Egyptians. Then it looks like some elements of the Palestinian Liberation, PLO, I don't remember what the organization, and then some Soviet units. But this focuses on the Sinai, so the southern end of Israel, in that same conflict in October 1973. But so this is kind of cool. The special rules for this scenario, it's 2.5 pages, 4.5 pages. And then you get into scenarios. And one thing that's kind of cool is it kind of looks like there's a bunch of scenarios in here, which is pretty awesome for a one map game, one sheet of counters, $22, getting multiple scenarios. That's good. I really enjoy that because it lets me play one of these small scenarios to get the feel for all of the unique game rules, to then play the campaign game in full, already kind of knowing what those rules are and how to use them. That being said, it looks like there's a bunch. So we've got Battle for Suez, Historic, Egyptian Placement, Exploitation. Okay, so that's a variant on these two originals, or on that original campaign game. Pearl Harbor Revisited. That looks kind of... I'm going to have to read all these. We got more stuff to do. End of the Third Temple. I would assume that has to do with trying to take Jerusalem. I'm not sure. That would be my thought with that game title, though. Pigeon Loft. Shavak Yamin. Israeli counterattack debacle on October 8th. So I'd assume that starts... Yeah, that starts a couple turns in. Oh, that's actually only a one-turn scenario, but that's kind of cool. So this looks like a large scenario that only takes place over one turn. So that's kind of cool. That'd be a fun one to play. And lastly, the Israeli counterattack crossing into Africa at War's End. And that's 6 turns, which is runs to the end. This looks like it's a 12-turn campaign game. And then, as always, guys, player and developer notes at the end of SCS games are always outstanding. Combat results table goes all the way up to 9-1, Jeff. Awesome.
Oh my, yeah, but does it skip numbers?
Oh yeah, it skips 6. What? 6 and 8. What? Oh, whatever. That's fine. Take the wins when I can get them. I really like it when you don't have a combat results table that just goes to like 4 or something because you pile up these unreasonable attacks. And then you still wind up like, oh, but they have 2 column shifts. Man, I have a division attacking a company. Why? But so that's cool. It's nice they put that on the back. I always enjoy that. I feel like most of what I need is on the game map, which is nice. You see that a lot with the older SCS games, not so much with the newer ones, with all those charts crammed into the margins. But then we do have the terrain effects chart on here as well.
I like how they got on the front cover the sequence of play.
Right?
Bold and black where you can just see it.
Yep, you just go straight down it. That was one of the nice things about Heights of Courage is that it was printed directly on the game map in the margin. And they even had a phase marker for you to move down where you were. That being said, these, before we move on, the markers look pretty easy to get a hold of. The most kind of noisy ones are these Bar-Lev forts for the Israelis, but those kind of just plop down and sit in the same spot, so I'm not super concerned about that. It's not something I'm going to need to be, running around the table or anything like that. Other than that, they appear to be just pretty standard SCS counters, man. You've got, attack, defend, movement, individual unit, parent unit, and then, a size. Is that a 3-step unit? What? I don't know. I'm going to have to break into that.
What's the bottom right corner of the counter sheet? What's the, are those step loss counters?
These? Very likely so.
So that's going to cover your 3rd step.
Yeah, very likely so. That's wild. Huh. This is the first SCS game I've run into that had 3-step units.
Yeah, so now I'm wondering what to figure out what that rule is, because I've got this one too. Now that you played Heights of Courage, and now you've got this one, I know that's going to see action before long.
Yep. So those of you who are yelling at me because, oh my God, of course there's 3 steps. Yeah, shut up. I haven't played one that has, and we've covered most of this series. So anyways, that's Heights of Courage. I'm sorry, Yom Kippur. My bad. We're going to slip that back into the bag here. These are good. These didn't come with little baggies, and that really bothers me. No, it doesn't. But no, that's the nice thing about these one counter sheet guys is that, you get 3 or 4 little baggies and then one for the game pieces, and you're pretty much set. So we've covered the mug. We've covered Yom Kippur. Now to get into the meat and potatoes of the new sexiness from MMP that is actually the old sexiness from MMP that people used to pay like, $175 for. We got auto from Barbarossa. Former magazine game, so this one never came in a box. But here we go. Let's get into this.
Oh, I'm excited already.
What?
I'm excited already.
Yeah, me too, man. All right, we're going to set that over to the side because that's just a cling film thing. I'm going to need to find a bag for this. But auto from Barbarossa, they spent, that's a really, really fancy, an absurdly fancy cardstock sheet there for the front. That's pretty cool. Oh, man. That's right. My little MMP card, my SCS card was not in that other one. Wow. Really going downhill here, MMP. Again, we've got special rules. These are, wow, look at the size print on those, Jeff. You're going to be able to read these without your cheaters. Anyways, there's that. This does come, obviously. There you go. Look at that. They put in new series rules too. So I have another copy of 1.8. So that's nice. Set that over here with the cover sheet for the same reasons. So that's nice. It's always good to have another extra set of that. We'll look at the maps. Oh, wow. Okay. So we got 2 map sheets, 2 counter sheets. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. They said they were we're going to get to the counters in a minute here. We'll be right back to the counters. Let's look at these map sheets. These are 2 map sheets. I think they said it was 2 17 by 22 maps. So they're slightly larger than normal magazine maps. Right. But that's fine. That's why we play on plexiglass, right? These are huge hexes. Super easy to read. Look at that. Wow.
Wait a minute. Okay, this is the 5/8 inch.
Oh yeah, these are huge hexes, dog.
I haven't pulled mine out and looked at it yet. So
These are huge hexes. These are super easy to read. We got all kinds of nonsensical Russian names on here. That's fine. Who cares? Again, we got terrain chart on the side. What is that? Soviet airstrikes remaining. That's nerve-wracking. Turn record chart again. That's helpful. Axis airstrikes remaining. Looks like they get a whole bunch more than the Soviets do. That's not surprising because it's 41 on the Eastern Front. So they got, Stukas and whatnot flying all over the place, buzzing bombs onto stuff and all that. The second map, again, easy to read. This is fantastic. Let's actually check this out here. There's these big, heavy blue lines on here, and I kind of want to figure out what those are. I would assume those are impassable water, but I am not sure. Sea lines. They are sea lines. Okay. I'll find that out in the main rules when we read them. I'm just seeing them all over the place here. But yeah, Jeff, these are sea lines. See them?
yeah. I don't see any C's though.
Oh man, sea lines. Okay, so there again so here's the Dnieper River. There's Smolensk. It'll be interesting to see who can take Smolensk out of us. Something tells me Todd's going to struggle with it, and then he's going to whip out some crazy die rolls and be fine. So we got what are obviously access supply points, which is nice that they're marked on the map. You don't even have to worry about it. You can just look. Oh, it's right there. And then there's a whole bunch of entry points because we got entry point K up here, which ought to be interesting. So, anyways, so those are beautiful looking maps again. Good stuff. Again, they're not the ultra realistic, not ultra realistic. That's a bad way to put it. But they aren't Day of Days style maps, which don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the Day of Days maps. They're beautiful, but I find them a little harder to read, especially with those small counters. These are great. Big fan of that. We'll set those off over here with the title sheet, and we'll get back to that in a moment. All right,
Those
counters.
Panzer units.
Oh, yeah, counters, baby. Counters.
Armor.
Here we go. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. We can't play this.
Oh, no. Somebody call the Greeks. But anyway, so here we go. So here are our, obviously, German counters. Again, these are huge counters. They're easy to see. That's awesome. That's fun. They should be easy to pick up with the tweezers. We got air, DG, and supply for German, DG supply for Soviets. Turn strike, we got a counter to sit on that airstrike table or that airstrike track to see how many we got left. That's awesome. The depth of these, or the kind of variety in these units are cool. We got these big heavy panzer divisions up here, as you're always looking for. You got their attached mechanized infantry. We got some garrison troops down here even, which just suck. Security troops, standard infantry divisions.
Those garrison troops. Now, I'm wondering if those are, I know some of the games that I get into on the East Front where you have to cut out German units and leave them in major cities after you take control of a major city.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Whatever. I mean, they'll at the very least they'll be nice to stick in, places where you might be needing to hold supply and all that stuff. Oh, the Soviets have some too. It doesn't
look too massive. The density doesn't look like there's a. So what are those? Are those core level or what are they? How many X's
These are battalions. Some of them are divisions. 2 X's is a division, correct?
Okay, so this is so Autumn for Barbarossa is pretty much Smolensk in the SCS scale.
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
that's exactly
what this is. The whole thing. My bad.
So it should say it on here, or it usually does. Let's see here. It actually appears to not say. Usually they're really good about tossing in. Here's whatchamacallit. Here's my favorite thing that I had heard about. Soviet player obtains 1 victory point if he manages to play the entire game using a comic book style Russian accent during all Soviet player turns. So that's awesome. If Oh God, bonus track how many times you and your opponent combined earn this extra VP, and when the total reaches 10, let Hans know at hanskishel@gmail.com. You get a personal call from him to talk about the game. There you go. So you play the game 10 times and manage to do that, you get to talk to Hans. Maybe, Jeff, maybe we'll have to do that on a solo play.
Hey, John Longshore wants to know, did Todd give you your box yet?
Oh, yes, he did, John. Yeah, I think we recorded a thing with it, didn't we?
Did we? Yeah, did we?
I don't know. Yes, John, he did. It's awesome.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
There's
did.
good
Yeah,
stuff in
I remember the last thing you pulled out of the box was that game.
Yeah, no, I mean, let's not ruin that. I don't know if Todd recorded that. If not, John, we'll put a video up about it. But yeah, let's jump back to here real quick before I dive into those rules because they looked simple and with a lot of fun stuff in them. But yeah, so we've got some brigades, some battalions, all the way down to some battalions. Because 2X is a division, isn't it?
Yeah, 2X is division, 1's a brigade.
Yeah, so we got some. It looks like we're messing with infantry divisions, but then most of these exploit capable units are battalions and regiments. Well, regiments. Yes, they're regiments.
So those 3 SS units up top, are they all from the same SS unit?
It says they're from SSR, which I would assume is SS Reserve.
Yeah.
But yes, and those are all regiments. But on to the Soviets. These appear to mostly all be divisions. Yep. So there we go. That's cool. A lot of VP hex controls for the Soviets, which I would assume lead me to believe you put those on the table to start with, and then you take them off as the Krauts capture things. I'm not sure. We're going to have to look at that. Again, another airstrike counter. A lot of Soviet counters. A lot of Soviet counters. That being said, most of them, it looks like they are really showing how depleted some of these Soviet units were at this time in the war. You've got, the same infantry divisions just looking at 255s as opposed to 595s down here to again show that it's late 1941. The Soviets are really on their last legs. But anyways, so that's cool. That's there.
Evening, Richard.
One thing we didn't cover in Yom Kippur is, and I just drew a giant blank. Well, whatever. In autumn for Barbarossa, turn is 6 days, hex is 7 miles. Yeah, units represent regiments through divisions. Yep. So we knew that one. Again, this is crazy fast. DG units. This is kind of one of the cool things about SDS is DG means something different in every one, as well as some out of supply. So in here, DG is everything's have, lose exploit, and have no ZOC. That makes sense. Out of supply units. Okay, here again, they can't attack. They're half strength, no ZOC, and move at half and lose exploit. So that's relatively standard. Stacking is 3 units. That was the one thing I didn't look at in Yom Kippur. That's always an interesting thing to see in here. So yeah, we've got garrison units. German special rules are short and sweet. Soviet special rules seem to be short and sweet as well. They are. There are no Soviet special rules other than playing in a Russian accent, which is fantastic. We're definitely going to have to do, and all 3 of us play this game, where we just have the most obnoxious Russian accents, and it's just going to be like 20 minutes of normal us talking, and then 20 minutes of obnoxious where every viewer drops off and waits for us to start moving axis counters again.
Yeah, well, and now that I realize that this is just Smolensk, that makes it even a better opportunity for us.
Yeah, exactly. So you got victory conditions. So yeah, it looks like the Soviets start with victory points, and then based on how many the Soviets control at the end, determines how much of a victory or loss it is for the Soviets. Victory points on the map. That's always nice when they list those out, because otherwise
you got a chart with it. Okay,
I'll miss one. Yeah, because inevitably I'll miss one, even though I'm sure it's printed on the map. What's up?
Are they posted on the map? The victory points?
Let's see here. Let's see if I can find one that is on here that is on one of the 2 chunks of a map that I can see right here.
Polatsk, you would think that would be on there.
What?
Polatsk. Right there underneath your chart.
Okay, here's Zev.
Okay.
Yes, they are on there. Polatsk
deal.
does not seem to be on there, actually.
Okay. That's a breakthrough point at the beginning. So,
Well, that's okay. So if it's a breakthrough point at the beginning, they probably didn't put it on there because they assume the Germans are going to take it. You know what I mean? But then Shechkaya, yeah. So no, they are. They're marked. They're on there and they're marked. So you can see Rezev's worth 2. Suchevka is worth 1. Whatever this one is worth 1. Yeah. So they're marked and they're in huge. That's awesome. That's nice. That being said, I would still manage to forget it. So here we got a couple more. Vitebsk is worth 2. Yeah. So there we go. Those are on there. That's pretty awesome. That's nice. I like that. And they're all marked with where they are, hexes, what they are, and how much they're worth. I think there's only one scenario in here. I think it's only the campaign game. It would appear so, yeah.
So what's just a quick glance? What would you say the total victory points in that chart are, if you add them all?
30,
up?
I believe. 30 or more is a major Soviet victory.
So if he holds every one of those, so okay, so and what's the first tier for German victory?
First tier for German victory is 22 is a historic outcome, which is a draw. A minor German victory is 21. So I'm sure there's more than 30 on there.
Considered a draw. Huh.
Yep. So then we got, reinforcements and everything. And then on to here. Okay, so airstrikes, it looks like they do the same thing as in like Bastogne or whatever, where instead of being column shifts like they are in a lot of the older games, they DG and have the opportunity to take steps, which is kind of cool. I like that. That's always a fun little way to feel like you're getting the money for your airstrikes. Combat table goes through 6. We got Soviet terrain effects and German terrain effects because those are different, which is kind of nice. That's always a cool thing. At face value, it would appear.
Whoa. 2 different terrain effects charts for each?
Yeah, one for the Soviets, one for the Germans.
Wow, that's got to be different. I don't remember seeing that anywhere else.
It's not. I think the big thing is it's harder for the Germans to cross rivers is what I'm seeing on here. But, yeah. So that's cool. That is a simple rule book. That is 8 pages. This is fantastic. Magazine games look fantastic. Hopefully they'll go back and do this with, the Fallschirmjäger. They've had a couple other little SCS magazine games. Hopefully they'll go back and do the same thing because, again, those are the ones that you tend to see for absurd amounts on Board Game Geek and whatnot. And there's what formerly was the back of the box, which is now heavy cardstock, quite pretty to go in the back of. Not a bag, so I need to find a bag. Yeah, see, there's the difference. This is the 23rd one in the series. I don't remember when it initially came out, but you can really see the evolution of the series between the maps and the counters from Yom Kippur to here, as well as some of the rules.
Well, this series, I mean, this is you could apply this to, I mean, you could anything.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, there's a Raffia game that was in a magazine that was in their magazine at one point in time that uses the basis for the SCS rules. It's built off of the SCS system. It's not the exact same rules, but it's built off the same system. And that's an Ancients game. Raffia. That's, Carthaginians and whatnot. I forgot to put the map back into Yom Kippur. But yeah, so that's, I mean, yeah, it's a diverse system that you can get a lot out of. I really kind of want to pick up a copy of Raffia, to be honest with you, just to see how it works. Also to bug the hell out of you guys playing an ancient SCS game.
Hey, you know what I'm sitting over there punching, so I don't want to hear it.
Oh, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I need to punch the rest of mine. I have the mini scenario punched. I need to punch and clip the rest of mine, even though that's going to take me, 8 days.
So for those of you there, we thought we would pop this on real quick. Myself, McMurray, and Wardrobe Todd, we all ordered this thing the same night.
Same day, like within an hour that it came out.
Yeah, McMurray led us to believe that it was a special sale and we had to be up at midnight to buy them all.
I did not at any point in time say that. I, in fact, said the exact opposite because through the end of the month, guys, Autumn from Barbarossa is $33. At the end of that, it goes up to $44. That being said, Yom Kippur, is 22. That's good. That's crazy. I did not expect. The only reason Yom Kippur is in here is because I was scrolling through through the SCS page on the MMP website, looking for. We're gonna move that. 'Cause it's got light on it that bugs the hell out of me. Looking for Autumn for Barbarossa because they said it was coming out on whatever day it was, and they didn't wind up putting it out until like 1 p.m. or something, which is fine. I got it. So I'm scrolling through and see Yom Kippur for $22. And I was like, man, that's awesome. Especially now that I realize it has 5 or 6 scenarios in it, which is even more impressive, to be honest with you. This is going to be fun for us to all play through. I feel like it's going to be well, that's the thing, though, because it's got 2 maps that will total up to the same size as a normal map, but then it's got 2 of those big counter sheets, and they're big hexes. So I'm thinking the density might not actually be too bad. It might not be that incredibly spread out. Like Yom Kippur, you've got a normal size map with the same everything, but only 1 counter sheet, kind of like I did with Rocket and Marn. And that was pretty spread, especially once I started taking a lot of casualties, So it'll be interesting to see those 2. They're not going to have the crazy counter density that some games do.
Okay, so I still have my OCS Smolensk, and granted, I can only see it. I haven't pulled the maps out and looked at it. It looks pretty. Like it's the same thing. Just they increase the hex size. Maybe the scale's a little different, but not. I'm really curious to see how this SCS version plays compared to that OCS version.
Well, and that's the thing, right? I've always wondered that about Autumn for Barbarossa because, like I said, it's been insanely expensive on Geek Market for a long time, right? Which is always one of those. Is that because it's good? Is that because there's not many of them? Is that because it's like, something that people say, oh, yeah, that's really, really good. So that when they play it and want to sell it, they can sell it for, $170 or what? But yeah, these 2 are going to be played quite quickly. I've got Across 5 Aprils, which is an ACW game on the table right now, as you can see. I've got it all punched and stuff. I got all this organized as I moved it over there, but I got it all punched and clipped.
And we'll get that rocking tomorrow night.
Yep, we'll get that rocking. That'll be fun. But then these 2 are coming onto the table quite quickly here.
Now, most of these guys on here, I know you guys, all y'all know this series. I can't say this enough that Standard Combat Series, because of all the different eras it covers, if you've got somebody out there that is curious about playing a game and you want to point them into something simple, come on. The main rules for SCS are what? They're 8 pages?
They are not long. They're a little longer than 8. This is a big printing, but either way, so we got, never mind, 8 pages. Yep. And
I think the biggest special rules for a game were what? Day of Days?
Yeah, and most of the time, again, that's the thing with the special rules, is that there's usually 5 pages to 6 pages maybe of special rules, depending on how kind of oddball and into stuff they get. And then it's scenarios. So yes, the Day of Days special rules were long, but it was also like, 40 pages of scenarios or something. So, yeah. This Autumn for Barbarossa should be good. Again, I'm super excited for Yom Kippur with how many damn scenarios are in there. That's awesome. Autumn for Barbarossa, it doesn't look like there's many special rules, which is nice. Which means it shouldn't be a huge deal to just hop right into that full campaign game and just go ham on it.
Yeah, this one's going to be worth it. I mean, I don't think I've played any of the SCSs that I played. You just finished Rock of the Morn, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. A lot of people don't. But I don't think I've played one yet that has, disappointed me. There may have been 1 or 2 I wasn't, super excited about, but none of them just – these games are great. And once you master that 8 pages of rules, which takes no time at all, you fly through these games. And I know there's one guy, Nathan. Nathan, I don't know if you've played any of the SCS. I haven't looked through everything on your YouTube channel yet, but I know Nathan would sit down and start one of these games and he'd be done in 2 hours.
Probably so, yeah. I mean, even with Rocky the Marn having, 15 turns or something, that was, again, I mean, you guys know that I usually don't do stuff on the days that I work, because usually I've got maybe an hour to do stuff that I want to do. I didn't have any issue knocking through a turn in Rock of the Barn before going to work. You're exactly right. The big thing is once you get those rules down, which are not hard, they make sense. They're simple. Every now and then you run into a kind of a, well, that's weird. And you flip back open to the rules, but it's easy to find stuff. There's good printed examples too, which is nice. So again, COC movement, stuff like that. There's stuff for, there's overruns over there, but then also for tracing supply and all that. There's examples of combat. So, I mean, they're well-written rules. They're easy to understand. And again, if you want to play a conflict in the 21st century or in the 20th century, like that's your thing. You're not super duper into ACW or you don't want to play Napoleonics. If you want to play World War I, you've got Operation Michael, Rock of the Marne, Drive on Paris. There's an ungodly number of World War II ones. You've got Guadalajara if you want to play interwar kind of weird stuff, which I still really want to play. I know some people think it's dumb. You said you enjoyed it. I want to give it a shot. And then post that, you've got, what is it? There's a Cold War game too, like a big Cold War game.
Is it? Come on, guys. What's the SCS Cold War game? Not Under an Iron Sky. What is it?
It covers a bunch of stuff. It might be Iron Curtain. I don't know.
That's
but
it.
Then
Iron
you've got
Curtain.
The Arab-Israeli stuff as well, whether it's Yom Kippur or Heights of Courage, which Heights of Courage was a fantastically fun game to play.
I haven't got to those yet. I will.
So there's lots of stuff. Again, this has been out for a while. This is a reprint, and it's still number 23 in the series. There's lots of games in the series. Odds are you can find something you want to do. Again, the one thing that we're going to knock them on, because Toddy and I knock them for it all the time, I'm really excited. I really want to play an early World War I Western Front game. That would be super cool. They have Fallschirmjäger, which is not only these magazine games, I think. Or no, Fallschirmjäger was not. But either way, they have Fallschirmjäger, which is an attack on, Denmark and the Low Countries in 1940. But again, it's been out of print forever, and it's really, really, really ungodly expensive if you want to get it. So hopefully MMP will come out and do what they did with both of these, where they re-released an old game, so more people can play them. And I mean, I know just the number of people that I've seen posting that they got this, it seems like they made their nut on it.
They should.
They should. Again,
brother, yeah.
The fact that people were buying it off of Geek Market at over $100, tells me that the demand is out there.
Yeah, how much you want to bet that price on the original now? Probably in a couple of weeks starts to come down quite a bit.
Oh, it already is. When I was looking at them, you could see before when I was just looking at the Board Game Geek page for it, before ordering it, just to read about it, because I'm me, so I was wanting to read everything I could about it and find everything I could about it. There were already some down to like $75.
Wow.
The guys are just like, shit, I want to get rid of mine, but I'm not going to get that anymore. But so,
So we thought we would throw this up since, we all got ours today. And we thought we'd throw this up so people get a quick look at what AFB was going to be like. And
which is impressive.
I'm pumped about it.
We ordered this, Friday?
Yeah, it came quick.
And it got here on Wednesday? Yeah. That's really awesome. So
we're probably gonna close this thing out. I know we got to pop over to another broadcast tonight. But
go watch Not Jay's channel tonight.
That's right. Come on over, check out Not Jay. Now, before we go, make sure let's do our coffee toast. All right. We got our mugs. So if you ordered and you didn't get your mug, get back on and get your mug. It's only $5. Come on, this thing is heavy.
Dude, it's $5 and it's huge. I do not have small hands. Like, this coffee mug is giant. Oh, here's something you guys will understand. Here's the massive counter clipper sitting on top of the coffee mug. This is a huge coffee mug.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that most of the viewers of this channel probably have sitting within arm's reach right now. This is not a small coffee mug. This is fantastic. I bet this thing holds a full pint. It comes in pints.
Thanks, everybody, joining us tonight. Like I say, y'all that want to keep going, we're going to pop over to Not Jay's and get on his stream. I'm not sure. What's he talking about tonight? Any idea?
Historical accuracy versus playability. So that should be pretty good.
There we go. Short. Oh, you know me. I love that stuff. All right. Hey, thanks all of y'all for popping on here. I know it was kind of hasty. Don't forget tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern time, we're going to be talking about Across 5 Aprils from Victory Games, ACW. McMurray's now, this is going to be his second throw at a American Civil War. And this is a good little game system we're going to be talking about tomorrow night. And you're going to get the same thing. He's going to blow through some of the contents of the box and some of the games and scenarios that are inside this box. So, hey, thanks again for coming tonight. Appreciate guys. Appreciate y'all checking in. And we'll see y'all tomorrow night at 9:30. Peace.